5.7 Derivatives of inverse trig functions. Everybody's favorite, because I know you remember all of your trig, right? So let's review. If y is the sine of theta, then theta is the arc sine. Also sometimes written, let me change my color here, theta equals sine inverse of y. So that this minus 1 right here is not an exponent, it's an inverse indicator. So arc sine is the same as sine inverse. Okay, so whenever you're taking the inverse trig function, it equals the angle. You're asking the question, at what angle does the sine equal y? Okay, remember the value of the sine is always between -1 and +1. And when you invert the sign, it is defined between minus pi over 2 and plus pi over 2. So quadrant 4 and quadrant 1, keep that in mind. All right. Cosine of theta, blah, 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 always between -1 and +1. But when you find the inverse cosine, you're between 0 and pi. Why do we do that? Because all of your negative values of sine are here, all the positives are there. And then you just repeat positive, negative, negative, positive, right? And all the cosines, in the first quadrant, you have your pluses. In the second quadrant, you have your negatives. So that's why the inverse is the principal value of your inverse cosine is always in first or second quadrant. Tangent, remember, goes from minus pi infinity to plus infinity. It has asymptotes because tangent is sine over cosine. So wherever the cosine equals 0, you have asymptotes. So it's not continuous, but the value of the tangent goes from minus infinity to plus infinity. But when we find the inverse of the tangent function, remember what this says, at what angle is the tangent equal to y? So the arctan equals the angle, and that is defined from minus pi over 2 to plus pi over 2. All of your negative tangents are here. All of your positive tangents are in quadrant 1. All right, let's say that the arc cosine of 3/5 equals my angle. Find the tangent and the sine of that angle. What is this saying? It says, at what angle does the cosine equal 3/5? Okay, so here's my angle. If the cosine equals 3/5, then the adjacent is 3, hypotenuse is 5. All right, that's one way that I can get that cosine value. So what I have to do to find the tangent and the sine is get the opposite side. So hypotenuse squared minus adjacent squared, take the square root. This is 25 minus 9 gives me 16. It doesn't give me any information about what quadrant I'm in, so I'm going to fix that at the end here. Square root of 16 is 4. So that my opposite side is 4. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. Those are my two values. Remember that the cosine is defined in quadrants 1 and 2. So let's write this down real quick. Theta has to be here. So let's think about this. If theta is in quadrants 1 or 2, but the cosine equals positive, then I know my angle is in quadrant 1. That means that the sine and the tangent are both positive, okay? So you always check these things, all right? So that's how I got positive values for both. Moving on. If arctan of 3/2 is my angle, the angle at which the tangent equals 3 over 2. That's the angle we're talking about. And I switched my variables while I was writing this down here. X. All right. Notice that my tangent it is positive, right? This question says I'm in quadrant 3, so I know my sine and my cosine will both be negative. It's important that you pay attention to that stuff. Okay, so the tangent equals 3 over 2. That's opposite over adjacent. Pythagorean theorem. 9 plus 4 equals 13. My hypotenuse is root 13. By the way, the hypotenuse is always positive. So I find the sine of this angle. It's 3 over root 13. You can rationalize if you want. Don't forget it's negative. And the cosine is 2 over root 13, negative. Some more examples that should be reviewed. If I take the cosine of the angle at which the tangent equals x, the angle where the tangent equals x, well, tangent is opposite over adjacent, and plain old x is x over 1, right? So quadratic form, but sorry, I keep saying the wrong word. The Pythagorean theorem says that the hypotenuse will be the sum of the squares of the other two sides, right? Take the square root of that. So now to find the cosine of that angle, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and boom, we're done. Take the tangent of the angle where the sine equals 3x. Well, 3x is 3x over 1. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Pythagorean theorem. This is the hypotenuse squared minus the other side squared. Take the square root. I'm trying to find the tangent of that angle. I get 3x over the root. Boom. Now for the fun part, the derivatives. So let's develop these formulas real quick. If I want to find the derivative of the arcsine of some function, I can rewrite this way, right? The arc is saying what's the angle where the sine equals u. So sine of y equals u. Set up my triangle. Y is the angle. U is u over 1, opposite over hypotenuse. Take the derivative of both sides of this equation. Derivative of sine is cosine. Don't forget to chain rule. And oh, by the way, this is what we're solving for, right? Derivative of u is du. Isolate this guy by dividing by the cosine. Here's my first little bit. But what's the cosine of y? Remember, y is that angle. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Where did this come from? We knew the sine was u over 1. So this squared minus this squared, square root, is the other leg of the triangle. So the cosine is the square root adjacent over hypotenuse over 1. And there's your derivative of your arcsine. Remember the pattern. Arctan. If the tangent equals u, I can set up my triangle where y is the angle, u is u over 1, tangent is opposite over adjacent, Pythagorean theorem. Square it, add them together, take the square root. So I take this equation, y is the angle, so the tangent of y equals u. Derivative of tangent is secant squared. Don't forget to chain rule the y prime. Derivative of u is du. Isolate the y prime by dividing both sides by secant squared. Well, secant on the bottom, right? If I divide by the secant, I'm multiplying by the cosine. So the cosine of y is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. So 1 over the square root, and I'm squaring it. So I get 1 over the square root squared, which just gives me this in my denominator. So the derivative of the arctangent is du over 1 plus u squared. Keep that format in mind. Now let's look at the arc cosine. So y is the angle where the cosine equals u, right here. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, Pythagorean theorem. Derivative of cosine is minus sine. Chain rule the y prime equals the derivative of u. Divide away the negative and the sine. Sine is root over 1. Sine is on the bottom. Notice that this is the exact same thing as the derivative of the arc sine. We just have a minus. Remember, when you take the derivative of something that starts with a c, you get a negative, okay? Arc cotan, you doing the same process here. I'll let you follow through that on your own time there, is the opposite of the derivative of the arc tangent. Pretty cool. So you can guess the secant and the cosecant, and you can develop those this same way. So let's put this into practice. Y equals the arc tangent of this thing right here. Well, the derivative of the arc tangent, let me write this down on the side here. Arctan of u derivative is du on the top, 1 plus u squared on the bottom. So there's your formula. Let's do this thing. So here's my u. The derivative of this thing right here is just 1 over 3. Boom. 1 plus square the whole shebang. I get blob squared over 9. That's what this is right here. So I'm going to multiply by the 9 on the top and the bottom. When I multiply the top, I get a 3. This distributes to the 1, gives me a 9. This multiplies here, cancels that out, and I get this. Okay? Now I'm going to FOIL this puppy out. I get that. I'm going to combine the 9 and the 4, and there's the derivative of that arc tangent. Now, when you start doing integrals in the next section, this is what your integrand is going to look like. You're going to have to be able to complete that square, put this in a different form so that you see this. You can pull the 3 out, and then we're going to manipulate this to where we can get it back to arctan of blob over 3. It's going to be tons of fun. So make sure you go through the process. That's the point. You got to get it back to here. The more derivatives you take and simplify, the easier it's going to be to integrate. All right, if y is the arc sine of 4x, find the derivative. Well, the derivative of the arc sine of u derivative is du on the top. Get used to that. Sine and cosine have a square root, and it's always subtraction. And you're going to square whatever the u is. So there's your formula for the derivative of the arc sine, and we're just going to make it fit. All right, this is my u, so my du is 4. Squaring this thing, I get 16x squared. Boom, my derivative is done. So if you memorize the arc sine and the arc tangent, you've got this thing licked. But you can always do what we did at the beginning and derive these formulas as you go through. The more often you do what we did by rewriting this as sine of y equals 4x, taking the derivative of that and then isolating y prime, the more you do that, the easier it is to remember the formula. So I recommend that. Okay, what if I have arctan of 2/3? Well, the derivative of the arctangent is du, which is 2/3, over 1 plus u squared. Always simplify those complex fractions. So whatever your biggest, nastiest common denominator will be, it's down here. Multiply the top and the bottom by that. This, one of the 3's cancels. I end up with a 6. Don't forget the 9 distributes to the 1, and I get this. Okay, arc cosine is the same as the arc sine, only you get a minus. So they put the du on the top. There's my 1/5 with my minus sign, and it's the square root of 1 minus u squared. Now, I have a fraction I got rid of that fraction down here by multiplying by the common denominator, but this guy's inside a radical. So I'm going to get a common denominator here. That gives me 4 minus x squared all over 4. Well, that's the square root of the top over the square root of the bottom, which is a 2. Now I can just multiply the top and the bottom by 2, and I get minus 1 over root 4 minus x squared. Pretty cool, huh? Now, when we get to the next section and we're integrating, you're going to need to be able to look at this and see that that's either negative arc sine or positive arc cosine of the x over the 2, because in this formula here, that was supposed to be a 1, right? The simplifying got rid of the 1. So when we integrate, our format's not going to look the same. So the more derivatives you take and simplify, the easier it's going to be to integrate. So please do all of this homework and simplify all of your answers before you start the next section.